Red meat has often been characterized as something we need to avoid for heart health, but Allie Miller, registered dietitian of Naturally Nourished, is here with how some red meat is actually better for you than chicken. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Now this is an interesting thought because you don't hear that a lot, but red meat can be healthy for us.
Right. I often have patients, one of the first lines out of their mouth is, I don't eat red meat, so when they transition into their heart healthy diet. And it's very interesting to keep in mind that the negative aspects of red meat is due to the corn-fed cows, but yet the grass-fed cows that aren't consuming grain tend to have less fat, higher vitamin E, and are less inflammatory, so they can actually be a heart-healthy meat.
And besides the grass-fed, you also say no hormones or no antibiotics in that meat as well, which isn't a whole lot of the meat we buy.
Right, and hormones have been slightly controversial as far as if they are working as a hormone disruptor for humans as well. Also, we keep in mind the offset of the animal, like the manure, contributes hormones into the groundwater, and we're seeing that mess with the ecosystems of the fish, the aquatic systems. So definitely something that's concerning. And with the hormones comes a need for antibiotics because we're over milking our cows, so they're getting a lot of infections at that time, and then that's where we're prophylactically using the antibiotics in the feed.
So then what happens with the antibiotics that's in the meat once we eat it? How's it affecting us?
Well, it's not going to be directly affecting us. It's more affecting us in a way for making antibiotics unavailable for humans.
I see.
So 70% of the antibiotics that are used in this country are for prophylactic use of animals. And prophylactic, by that I mean we're administering it to them without them having infections because we're anticipating an infection due to the low quality of their living conditions.
And anytime you go and take a look at these meats, I mean, it's almost double. It does cost a whole lot more, but you think if that is one place where you would spend your money, you think it's worth the expense?
I do, especially when we're looking at like the antibiotic resistance.
And take a look, there's a big difference if you just look at them,
absolutely.
Right?
So these are two New York strips. We're looking at, on the right side of the screen, a grass-fed New York strip, and on the left side of the screen, a grain-fed. So you'll see that intermuscular fat. It's very difficult, you know, we say trim around the fat. When it's intermuscular and it's kind of within the structure, difficult to cut away. So the grass-fed meat is going to be significantly leaner and have significantly more minerals.
And it seems like a lot more stores are carrying the healthier options now, aren't they?
Absolutely, absolutely. And you can see with the pigmentation, same with wild fish. The wild salmon is not color treated. It's that bold, beautiful red because they eat the algae and the plankton. So when animals eat grasses, they turn that into protein. Just like when humans eat proteins, we are lean. When we eat carbs, we gain more fat as well, just like the animal structures do.
Okay, now that we know that it's good for us, let's make some recipes.
Okay, excellent.
So some ways to spice up this
yes.
then.
So the first one I have is a carne asada. And so this would be beautiful for carnitas, like a slow cook with pork, or this could go very good with a brisket. This is just going to be a half of a cup of an organic olive oil with a couple fresh limes that are juiced. I have some fresh chopped cilantro and garlic and some cumin, and then I'm just going to toss in a little bit of salt and pepper. Keep in mind, if you're using a pasture-raised protein, it is going to have less fat, as we noted, so all of these marinades are going to have an olive oil or a fat with them to take into account to keep that that meat lubricated so it doesn't burn.
Right, so you want to keep it nice and moist.
Yes, but this way we get to choose the type of fat instead of the saturated fat.
And then for a marinade like that, are you going to use that for a while before you even cook the meat?
Yes, so also keeping in mind the grass-fed meats, since they have more water, the acids like the lemon juice or the lime juice are going to extract some of the moisture in that meat, so that can make it more tough. So you want to marinate for half the time, about 2 hours instead of 4.
Okay.
This one is lemon juice, and I'm going to put in a little bit of fresh cinnamon, some fresh ginger. I have some paprika, some cumin as well, some yogurt, and this is like a tiki masala blend. This is really nice, kind of pulling in some of the Indian type flavors. This goes really well with chicken and really well with pork. I would put this in a big Ziploc bag, and with your chicken, this could withstand like a day's work. You could put it in the morning, and then when you come home from work, pop it in the oven.
And you can also use it with beef too?
Absolutely. And then this next two are rubs. So these next two are using dried or fresh thyme that you could chop up in there. Allspice, this is a Caribbean jerk. Some cumin, some paprika and some cayenne, some dried onion and some cracked black pepper. And then my last one is a Creole rub. The Creole rub is going to have some cayenne and some onion as well. We're kind of sharing some ingredients. Some black pepper, about 2 tablespoons of cracked black pepper, and some allspice. And that's going to be a dry rub for fish predominantly.
Okay, those sound great. And what we're going to do is put all these recipes online at HoustonTexasFood.com. So hopefully people will go there and be able to spice up dinner a little bit.
Absolutely.
It looks great. Thank you so much for being here today, Allie. Good to talk to you.
You as well.